Xbox Cloud Gaming. We're taking a look at the newest iteration of this service that allows you to start streaming some and then eventually, hopefully, all of the games you own over the cloud without having to actually have a Xbox console. This is something they've been talking about for years, and now we're finally able to enjoy that experience. So be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well. So I'm on my PC. I'm using the Microsoft Edge browser. You can use, basically the common browsers of today. And then you're able to come on, and with your Game Pass Ultimate subscription level, you go to xbox.com/play. And you should be able to do this across your different devices, whether you're using like a Fire Stick thing or playing off your phone. Wherever the cloud gaming is, this service will work. Hilariously, if you try to do this feature on your Xbox, like say play Cyberpunk, without downloading it and play it through the cloud, it doesn't work there. I hope that it does eventually because it's kind of funny, but yeah, and this is a service that is in progress. So the goal here is they're starting with, I think it's 50 something games, and then over time, eventually, ideally, it will be your entire library. They've been talking about doing this for years, and it's about time they finally got this going. There's also sections that will help you. So if you're playing with your mouse and keyboard, these are the types of Xbox games that you can enjoy using a mouse and keyboard without even having to have a controller, which I think is really, really quite interesting. And then, they've got different tallies recently added, things that are leaving. You've got your regular cloud, games that are already available through Xbox Game Pass. Because the idea is that your Xbox is everywhere, which again isn't great for those that like the hardware from Xbox, but yeah. So the idea is you buy it and you stream it. Stream your own games that you own, and this is like a selection of the games that currently are things that work on this service, which is really quite interesting because they could potentially save you downloading a massive game. You don't want to sit there and download Final Fantasy. It takes too much space, takes too much of your hard drive. Well, now you can just literally go in and same with Hitman, it's a big download and you can just play it this way, which is interesting. Which is why I was really confused as to why this didn't work for those that basically have it on console. Because it'd be really cool. I don't want to download Cyberpunk again. I just want to enjoy the experience. I just want to play the game, Let's just stream it, this situation. And that's the weirdest thing is, that situation is present. So this experience is really quite neat because it's all the, it's the experience and everything of Xbox, but like you don't have to have a console. Which again is bad for Xbox hardware, but you get what you get. It's even got like a guide menu that pops up, and sorry, it kind of did like a big pop-up thing. One sec here. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, I'm trying to see, it's on PC, so like when I click the guide, it pops up everything. But you're seeing this menu bar on the side here. This is your guide through the cloud. The only problem is I have this overlay that pops up. Oh, here we go. Now it's working. So this is where you can do like start a party. You can, talk with your friends. You can see your achievements. It's got your friends list. It's got your messages. It's got your profile. Everything is present here just on your little, guide that you can pop up using the typical way you would do it. And this, again, this is kind of a work in progress. It's been a work in progress for years. But it looks like we are finally getting closer to a point where you are going to be able to enjoy the magic of your game library anywhere without Xbox hardware. So that is cool from a sense that eventually if the Xbox hardware vanishes, your library will live on. Like, the idea that they're going for here is great. I just wish the cloud was in a situation where we could take advantage of this more. And I think that is kind of the biggest problem is like internet connectivity. So we're going to use, I think, the cloud save here, which is like 80 gigs. 80 hours of gameplay. The game itself is very, very large, Cyberpunk. So for context, in what you're seeing here, my connection is 130 megabits download and 30 megabits upload, roughly, up and down depending on network. So they're using Xbox Series X hardware. I was expecting a bit of a bump in quality, but it does seem like we're still kind of at that cap that we were before. So what they're using is essentially Series X hardware. So you're getting, a Series X, a virtual Series X is playing. It's a server blade. And that's how these games are kind of running, is using that Series X setup. So that's kind of your limitation. But then your other limitation is the fact that you are capped to the 1080p 60 FPS. So if you care about high frame rate gaming, you care about higher visuals, the cloud is still, the big limiting factor is the cloud is the lower resolution and doesn't have the higher frame rate. It doesn't have all the feature sets that you would expect and that you would have been likely enjoying having been playing on your home console. Their competitors are definitely ahead in that option, which is weird because Xbox has been pushing this cloud for so long. I am hoping that eventually, and it's supposed to be coming in the near future, I am hoping eventually they actually figure this out and, give us the option that we really could use for, the experience. Yeah, so it's still kind of the same cloud experience that we're used to. And I'm hoping that over time they advance this further. That to me is like a big holdup for me embracing more of the cloud stuff is just, resolution and frame rate. Because, I have the console, it's like, why would I give myself a subpar experience? There's also the problem with the lineups. Now, this might be really cool from a perspective of, say, they get the cloud working for something like Grand Theft Auto 6. Something that's not going to be on PC right away. And PC users, or even phone users who want to play Grand Theft Auto 6, you get that working through the cloud, allowing people to buy the game and then play it through the cloud. I think that could be potentially a really big pushing tech for, or a game that really pushes people to play, games through Xbox Cloud Gaming. Like, I really do see what they're going for here. I think this push is definitely the future kind of gaming. Eventually you'll want to play, because then you don't have to update games. You don't have to install updates. You don't have to have anything locally. You can access your game library that you own, you buy, anywhere, at any time, from any device. Now, of course, there's questions about ownership and everything like that, and, delisting stuff and licensing problems. And yes, in an ideal situation, everything will work correctly, and this will be like the perfect way to play video games. It's just streamed to you through the cloud, working well, working flawlessly, and you engaging with your games anywhere without having to get any updates, without having to download any DLC, without any of that stuff. You're just supposed to be able to enjoy your games. Now, of course, they can't even launch Flight Sim, which is all cloud driven, and have that work properly. And server outages for Xbox and all that other stuff. Yeah, those are major problems. For sure, 100%. There's a lot of issues I could see with the cloud. But I do also see the potential of this. Like, for me, a long time, the cloud's been kind of cool as something where I can jump in and be like, I don't know if I want to install this game. How is it? And I could try it through the cloud. But a lot of the time, the cloud will be like, kind of they did that big Fortnite expansion, and that was a problem. Because, I'm trying to open up the guide. That was a problem because it... Okay, I don't want to exit this. How do I get out of here? Do I back? Yes, quit the game. Thank you. Good. This is actually good today. Streaming, sure. Yeah, streaming quality was fine. Yeah, that's great. Fantastic. No, you're welcome, Xbox. Yeah. Anyways, so kind of annoying. Yeah, what they're going for here, I think, is really genuinely interesting. No, I don't want to restart the game. What are you doing? Okay. They need to work on the UI setup for this. I do genuinely think the potential here is great, but I also see the limitations and the problems of this. They have a server outage, all your games, everything like that, locked away. They have other cloud problems, stuff just doesn't work. You know, as I said, their stuff's all based off of cloud, and then Flight Sim literally comes out, and it doesn't function at all. And it's like, how reliable is their cloud? And you get a big game, you know, Fortnite they have playing through the cloud, and it's like, you know, it creates server waits. So what? I want to play my game, and I have to wait like 40 minutes to be able to play the game I own? That's ridiculous, right? Like, why is that a thing? And that to me is a massive problem. Is that situation where something I own isn't available to me. This is also really cool for solving the problems of getting games that you can't play on PC from the older legacy stuff. So something like a 360 game or an original Xbox game that you can't get natively on PC. I'd rather they actually come up with a way for us to natively enjoy those games or remaster, like, say, Gears 2 or 3. But games that we literally could not enjoy. Okay, that's great. Okay, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's nice, thank you. Okay, yeah, thanks. Alright, that's awesome. Games that we previously, you know, were locked away from PC, this is a way to solve those problems. More and more of them are getting, like, you know, remastered and stuff like that, and more of them are becoming available, but you can definitely see where that situation where it could come in handy. I'm mostly trying to give you an idea of how this works, what you can use this for, and the potential that this sort of service actually does provide. And I got cut off there because I ran out of recording space because I've been recording so much recently, so if you're wondering why there was that weird pause thing, that's why. I know, I've been recording and filming things like crazy recently. But I wanted to come in and I wanted to be like, hey, this is what they're trying to do. This is what they want to do. And it's interesting to see them attempt to work towards this, because this is something I have seen as the end goal for them for years. This is something Xbox, like, all the way back to, I think it was like 2019, I believe, was the first time I saw the cloud gaming. I had a video of it on YouTube, totally underviewed, honestly, for the early showcase of the cloud and the longevity of video and stuff that I actually took there of the cloud gaming. And since then, when they were showing this off for the first time, I knew that eventually, someday, you know, this is what they were kind of waiting for and wanting to do, was this experience where you could play your games anywhere. I thought that the hardware and the console would still be the focus of that experience, but obviously that's not really the case, which is such a shame. You know, considering we like the Xbox and stuff. That's weird. It doesn't usually just like seamlessly transition into the castle usually. That's odd. I thought I had loaded the Series X version up. Anyways, yeah, it's just, to me, it's really bizarre that, like, the hardware part of it, because the cloud is cool. You know, like, I'm fine with cloud. Some people are completely against the cloud, or they have all these cloud problems, whatever. For me, it's always been about the technology and the implementation of all this tech and what this can do for the user. And, like, the idea of this being an extension to something that we use and something that we like, I think is a great idea. But you still have to fight and work towards having a successful console, because the cloud gaming stuff isn't the default way we play games. This is getting a lot better. I've seen improvements on, the PlayStation side of things. Obviously, the Xbox Cloud Gaming since like 2019 when it was first teased at the show, and then, actually getting to try it and see it over the years, see it on iOS, see it go from iOS, come back, and, see it in all these different ways. I definitely understand what they're doing here. It fascinates me from a technology standpoint. But it's also like a fact of something where it's like you're preparing for something that doesn't even really necessarily exist as a market yet, if that makes sense. Like, it's still a question of, oh my, it keeps popping up the Xbox guide over top of this, which is hilarious. It's still a question of whether or not this is actually still a way that people want to play games, I think is a thing too. Like, this is really cool. No console, no usage on my PC. I'm playing a wide variety of games that I already own and enjoy, and I don't have to download them or anything like that. And I can buy games if I don't own them. And yeah, I totally, 100% understand what they're going for. It makes complete and utter sense to me that this is like the direction for gaming down the road. Whether you as an individual like that or not, this is where video games are headed. I don't know why it shows the same game multiple times though, just because it's gold editions. I guess that's a selling feature thing. Shouldn't it be like Baldur's Gate, you click it and then you choose your versions? Like, maybe it's a padding thing where they want it to look like there's more games than there are. That could very well be a situation. And you're still, like, even when you're doing this, you're still limited by hardware. Like, this is still using a Series X somewhere. And it's like, I guess theoretically you could just keep upgrading these server blades, and that's also going to cut into your hardware availability for people regardless. It's, there's a lot of challenges to tackle for this. And that's the biggest thing. I think that's going to be a hurdle for a lot of people, is I don't know if they're going to fully buy into this at the current point in time, or even if they want this. That's where I'm saying is they're kind of pushing and like trying to create something at the forefront of their gaming before it even exists. Like, yes, they should be trying to do this kind of thing. All the companies are kind of trying to do that are like, console. Like, PlayStation's trying to work towards it. Nintendo's got a little bit going on, and there's like Nvidia, and there's other cloud companies that exist out there. And then Ubisoft has ownership over the Xbox cloud stuff for quite a while going into the future. Why isn't this playing with the cinematic kind of angle going on? That's really weird. Fill screen 21:9. There we go. Ow! It's so... No, I genuinely, I get the idea. I get what they want, but... yeah, they should have really focused a lot more on trying to fight for more console market share before working on... what is going on with my pistol there? Before pushing for something that literally, market-wise doesn't even really exist yet. Focus on the console for the next, literally probably the next several years, and then as cloud stuff becomes more common and people are more confident with it, then you can move over to that. That's what they should have been doing. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's neat. Like, this is genuinely interesting, not me getting blasted like that. Is it just me or the stormtroopers get more difficult between updates or something? I don't know. But this is better than what I experienced prior, and I'm hoping at some point we get a further push for, like, visuals and, like, yeah. And then not having to wait would be a big thing. Did they, like, totally mess up how you, like, aim and stuff in this? This is bizarre. And, like, the idea of sitting here, not having to have hardware, playing games I own, that's really, really exciting to me. Because it's an interesting use of the technology. No updates, no game stuff like that. It's like Stadia. You put in a code, like, I had to download Black Ops. Took me several hours. Cold War back in the day. put in a code for Cyberpunk, played in 5 seconds from getting the review code to playing the game, and that's cool. But I do have expensive hardware, and I do like to use my hardware too. But it should be interesting, and I'm curious how people think of the cloud, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on what they're